Australopithecus africanus, believed to be the first missing link that they found, this connecting animal between the early primates and mankind. They don't believe it's true man yet because it doesn't have the genus Homo, which is, whenever you see the genus Homo, see how English language changes, right? When I say Homo, you want a snicker? No. Homo just means the same. Homo means the same. So the same as us. Animals that are the same as us are Homo, and what are we? What's our species? Actually, our species now, to be technically correct, is Homo sapiens sapien. Sapien means wise. So we're the wise man, Homo sapiens sapien. This is an adult Australopithecus. This is the Australopithecus boisei, which is what they call the robustus type, and this is Australopithecus africanus, which they call the gracile type. So one is robust, the other is graceful. And early on, they thought they may be male and female, something called sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism, that the sexes take two different shapes. Have you seen a peacock? Have you seen a peahen? Sexual dimorphism, they're radically different. They don't seem to go together. But they do go together, but they're different. So they were thinking this is like the woman and this is the man. Man, woman. They never found their fossils together, so they gave up on that idea. Because chances are, if they're husband and wife, you're going to find their fossils in the same area. One was on one side of Africa and the other was on the other side of Africa. They may have had a bad relationship. Maybe a legal separation, something like that. But they don't believe it's sexual dimorphism now. They think it's two completely different species. This just shows the major finds or major sites where Paleo-man fossils are found. And you'll notice they form a line, right, down the eastern part of Africa. You know what that's called? The East African Rift. Geologists believe the Earth's crust is being torn apart there. And as it's torn apart, it's revealing strata that go deeper and deeper into human history. Therefore, you find more fossils in that rift. The southern area is called the Schwartkens, and you can see the white here, that's limestone, and there were caves in the limestone. The brown material is just soft sediments that have filled in the caves, but they're excavating these caves, and inside the caves, see how the caves have filled up with debris over time? But when they dig back into these caves, they're finding all kinds of early man fossils and top carnivores such as cave bears and cave panthers and so on. And the early interpretation were that the early man was living in the caves, which would make sense. That's where we get the idea of a caveman, right? Because they're living in the caves. But then they found the skull, and these two indentions in the top of the skull matched the lower jaw of this cave panther perfectly. So now the interpretation's changed, right? What's the interpretation now? Exactly. Bishop got it right. The top carnivores, the cave bears and the cave panthers, they're living in the caves, and they're going out in the savannah and they're capturing these early men and bringing them in and having them for breakfast. So you can see the impressions there. So it's obvious that the panther got the best of that Australopithecine. Every year there's more of these things. What's the problem with the early man and the cave bears living in the caves? If you've studied the mythology of Prometheus and Epimetheus, giving man their gifts, we talked about that in Roman world class. The early man didn't have anything, he didn't have claws or speed. He didn't have any favorable characteristic that allow him to chase out the cave bears. Until what? What gave him advantage over the cave bears? Fire. Criminy, it seems like every summer there's more and more of these things around. And there were more and more, and eventually they domesticated fire, or in mythology, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to man. And he was able to defeat the animals, because animals don't like fire. If you don't believe me, watch Jungle Book. You'll see Shere Khan doesn't like fire at all. And so that allowed man to inhabit the caves. They build fire inside the caves, and that would keep the animals out. At least that's the story they tell. Anyway, if you look at the satellite image, you can see these linear lakes here in East Africa. That's the rift that cuts through the eastern part of Africa. And if you go there, you can see it. Here it is in the foreground. This is the rift. In the distance, you can see this large mountain, highest peak in Africa. You'll probably tell me its name, right? Kilimanjaro. That's Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a mountain that's formed along that fracture. The molten material along the break in the Earth's crust has come to the surface and formed the large volcano.